he thought, what does it matter when you're nearly 40? The other negative was I had 6 children. Who's going to take on 6 children? Whew. But he said as he got to know them, they were really good workers. He said he couldn't have handled brats. He said they were really good workers, so he put that to the positive side, team of workers. So he got up one morning, he said to his daughter, who was all of 11, well, it's all in. Today's the day I will ask Mrs. Russ to marry me. She said, Dad, you have to ask her out first. He said, no, there's going to be nothing emotional about this decision. And his daughter talked him into it, so he said, oh, righto. So I get a call, Barbara, would you like to go out for tea tonight? And I said, yes, because I very much liked Mr. O'Neill, and I was shocked that he was asking me out for tea. But we don't have tea. Well, we'll find a little bit of room. I went out, you call it supper, went out with him to a restaurant and we had a light meal and talked about work. He was the business manager of Living Valley Springs and I was the part-time supervisor in the health centre. I still had a few kids at home on school. And we talked about work, the kids, the weather, the meal. And then he dropped me home and shook my hand. And then 3 days later he said to his daughter, the courtship's gone on long enough. He said, today's the day. I will ask Mrs. Russ to marry me. Anyway, I got a knock on the door in the afternoon and it's Michael. He said, oh, I've got a few things to talk to you about. I said, yes. He said, can I come in? I said, yes. He sat down. He said, would you like to sit? I said, no, I think I'll stand. I didn't know what was coming. I don't know why he'd asked me out. I just didn't know anything. And the house I was about to move in, someone else moved in there and I thought, I don't know what's going on here. So I said, yes. He said, well, I've been thinking about things and I think you and I should get married. I said, this is very analytical. He said, I'm a very analytical person. And I said, well, I think when two people marry, they should love each other. And when I said that, he went, I'm very attracted to you and I love your character. And when he said that to me, I thought, really? I'm very attracted to this man and I love his character. I love the fact that he's a mover and shaker and I love, you know, and I loved his sense of humour, which is quite crazy. And I just couldn't believe he's there asking me to marry him. I said, yes, I will. And it sounds like a flippant answer to a life-changing question, but when you realise we'd known each other for 10 years, and I very much admired this man, and when he said, I'm very attracted to you and I love your character, I thought, wow, so do I. How can I improve? So I said, yes, I will. He said, great, meet me tonight at my house with all the kids. So the whirlwind went out the door. And my daughters came running in and said, well, unbeknownst to me, everyone on the property knew. I said, yes, and they started cheering because Michael was their boss and he was very fair and I had a couple of people come up to me and say, you know, you're marrying a very hard man.